This is one of the 10 math commandments. Thou shalt not write on paper with ink. Subscribe to Mr. Math Inc. I love math.
Part A here says, which function has a local minimum of a value of -1? So if I go down to a y value, and I'm going to make my purple line there, does any of those graphs hit that purple as a low point? Well, the blue one does not, f of x does not. The g of x goes, that purple line goes through it, but it's not the low point. And if you look at h of x, here is a maximum. And then it goes this way and hits here. This is a minimum. There you have a max. Okay, so that means, which one of these? That would be h of x. Okay, part B. What is the minimum value of the g of x? So now I'm going to focus on the pink graph. And you'll notice in the pink graph that the low point here is this one. So I'm just going to highlight that, and you'll notice that the y value is -5. That was the clue I gave you guys. When you write the minimum, you are writing the y value. It's just a number. Number 9, which function is even? All right, you could graph this, but you know, we're meant to do these without a graphing calculator, so I'm not going to graph those. And then this is the problem where it's the star, sub -x for every x. And basically what this is testing for symmetry. Test for symmetry algebraically, okay? And it wants to know what an even is. So an even basically says that you get the original function, okay? Let's do A. I'm going to put in a -x for every x value. And here I'm just going to use my order of operations, PEMDAS. So I'm going to use exponents. -x times -x times -x is -x cubed. And -8 times -x is positive 8x. And I'm just going to clean that up. So 6 times a -x cubed is -6x cubed plus 8x. Okay, now this one has a negative, so if I factor out a -1, this is my greatest common factor, I get 6x cubed minus 8x. And so you recognize that this is the original. So this one's actually the opposite of the original. This one is actually an odd function. So it cannot possibly be A. Okay? Let's try another one. Let's try this one. Oops, I wanted to use green. Let's try g of x. So now, g of x, we're going to put in -x. And we're putting a -x for every time we see x. And so 14, -x to the 4th power is, no. Sorry about that. -x to the, -x times -x is x squared. And essentially x squared times x squared is going to be x to the 4th power. This is going to be positive. And another trick that if you're not understanding the multiplying of, they call them monomials, just take -1 and put into your calculator to the 4th power. But you have to be careful. You have to use parentheses. You have to use parentheses. +1 is the correct. It's a positive answer. That's what I'm trying to point out. If you did something like this, the calculator actually has read it as 1 to the 4th power and take the opposite. Those two lines are totally separate. It gives you the wrong answer. Okay, so use parentheses. Okay. And then this would be -3x. So this would be 14x to the 4th minus 3x. And is that equal to the original? It does not. So we can say it's not equal to the original. And so this would not be an even. Okay. Let's try this one, m of x. M of x is this. And every time, again, we see an x, we're going to write a -x. Now, don't be concerned about the left side. Don't be concerned about the left side. So, -x equals 9 times -x squared plus 4. And I'm going to do -x times -x, which is x squared. So I have -x squared plus 4. And that is the original. So you would actually write something like this. So this would be a even. This one up here in green, this was actually a neither. So this one is good. And let's just double check that the other one was wrong. Let's do this one in orange. N of x equals 7x cubed plus 2x squared. And so -x equals 7 times -x cubed plus 2 times -x squared. This would be -x cubed is -x times -x times -x, which is -x cubed. And this one is going to be -x times -x is just x squared. And if you just clean it up, it would look like that. Now, if you factor out the -1, you're going to get 7x cubed minus 2x. It's not equal to the original, and it's not equal to the opposite of the original, because this one has a negative sign there. So this one is a neither. So the only correct answer we have is C. Hey guys, let's go over question number 8. Find the following sum. Sum is addition or subtraction. I'm going to distribute the 7 to each of these terms. Pass out the green starbursts to each of these. So that would be 3x squared. The 7 is positive. 2x. 7 again to the -5. We'll pass out a pink starburst to each of these terms. This 2 is positive. Into this 3. Okay, let's go ahead and simplify this. I'm just going to multiply the numbers in front, so it'll be 21x squared. This would be 14x. -35. Remember, this is multiplication. Common mistake is just multiply the first term. Second one mistake usually is students will try to subtract those. Again, multiply, because there's a multiplication here. If you're stuck with your integers, go ahead and just use your calculator. Let's find like terms. I'll use shapes. Those have x squared. So again, I'm just going to look at the numbers in front. That would be a 19x squared. Nothing there. 14x. And then that'll become a negative 29. And that would be choice D. Alright, this problem tells you to simplify. So simplify means the basic math operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. So how do you know which one it is? You're just going to look in between them, and there's just a dot. So in this case, that'll just be multiplication. And for multiplication, we've been using a rectangle. So how do you know how large to draw your rectangle? Well, this has two terms, so there's going to go over here. This one has three terms: 1, 2, 3. So you're going to put those 1, 2, 3, and that's why it has 2 by 3. So let's go ahead and we're going to first multiply. So this will be 1 times 2, and x times x squared is x to the third. We're going to keep multiplying. Negative 6 times 2 is negative 12, and you just have no x's, so it's just going to be x squared. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3, and x times x is x squared. Negative 6 times negative 3 is 18. And then there's no x's, so it's x. That was a common mistake right there. A lot of students were doing negative times and negatives and negative. Use your calculator, please. 1 times 1 is 1, so you just have 1x. And then negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. Okay, now we're going to add. If you want to, you can just write all these terms out. So this one has no like terms, so 2x to the third. These two are like terms, so you're going to have negative 15x squared. These two, 18 and 1, they'll give you positive 19x minus 6. Let's put a box around it. And that's our answer.
If you love my pretty money, let's begin to try it with me, and you will get a score. Better, better, better score, and then try again with me. Let's begin again right now. Again.